Hello and welcome to the Hellraiser blog. Please guys, if you enjoy the blog, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it about. Just watched Billy Joe Saunders against Canelo. I actually had, obviously take the last round out, I actually had Billy Joe Saunders nicking it. I had him just ahead. Although I also felt he was working in fourth gear from too early in the fight. He was burning a lot of energy. I don't blame him because Canelo, very solid fighter, was catching Billy Joe with less fights. Sorry, with less punches, but they were more having more impact rather than Billy Joe's were a little bit sort of pokey and more to buy him space to keep the movement going. I think Billy Joe must have, he's a proud guy, and he must have a serious eye injury. There must. I mean, look, that we'll have to wait and see what the doctors are going to say when they have a proper look at it. In a clinic in the cold light of day. But I would imagine he had lost the vision in that eye because he was doing, boxing wise, he was doing well. I mean, I had a strong feeling, which I went through in the blog, which was basically, I don't think Billy Joe Saunders has lived the fighter's life for long enough. He's not had enough hard fights at that high level to equip him for what Canelo was putting on him, and it caught up with him there because Billy Joe Saunders showed that he had the skills to win rounds and to compete in that fight. He can take a lot from that, but he just didn't have the engine to stay out of trouble for long enough that he needed to cope with what Canelo eventually put on him. And I think it felt like a bit of an anticlimax because we always want to see them go into battle and get carried out on their shield, and Billy Joe didn't get the chance to do that, or he didn't do it. But I think for him to pull out like that, he must have had a serious eye injury. There clearly was an eye injury, but I think probably he's either lost vision. They need to look at that eye. I mean, and come back because it needs a medical opinion. But that I would say it's a fair bet that he couldn't see out of that eye. There was a big problem there because I can't imagine him just going out, like a bit of a damp squib. As soon as the pressure was that intense, and the pressure was there from the start, but when he had a full tank, he was able to cope with it easy enough. He was moving very well. It's actually dictating the range that they were boxing at. I like the fact that he a lot of the time he spent with his feet near the centre of the ring, with his back off the ropes. But I think it was like the 2 rounds before the end, I saw Billy Joe's his back hit the ropes a little bit slow coming off them, and I thought that doesn't bode well. He's not coping well here with the pace of the fight, with the work rate that he's been forced into having, and that's why I had that issue about maybe he needed more fights close to that level, but not quite at that level, if you see what I mean, because the intensity, I think, is what was getting to him and what probably allowed Canelo to land those shots that caused the damage to his eye. Canelo, he is what he is. We know what to expect from him, really. He cuts the ring down, he gets in close. Those body shots, you could see from the way that Billy Joe's feet were moving after the body shots were landing. He's a murderous body puncher, and Billy Joe was not comfortable with, even though he was still boxing reasonably well and probably nicking some of those rounds and competing. The writing looked like it was more and more on the wall. Every exchange they were having, it looked like Canelo's confidence was growing, and he was getting more success as the rounds went on. Like I say, I don't blame Billy Joe, but it did feel like a bit of an anticlimax. The talk that I haven't got any quit in me and whatever. I sort of expected to see the fireworks. You can't blame him. Look, if his eye was gone, that's it. it's impossible to gauge range when you've only got one eye. And the eye didn't look very swollen, but I mean, eye's a delicate thing. You can have like detached retinas. There's all sorts of injuries that can happen that affect your eyesight, and you can't defend yourself. Certainly not against a puncher like Canelo, when you can't see the punches coming, unfortunately. But anyway, it was a good performance from Billy Joe up until the going got very tough in the last sort of round and a half, say, and I've known Billy Joe Saunders since he was about 8 years old, since he was very young. Would have liked to see him shine tonight. Right, well, tonight wasn't his night. He shined temporarily. It's a real shame that he wasn't able to carry on a bit longer, because I think he made I wouldn't say he made a statement of sorts. He showed that skill-wise, he certainly has the ability to compete with these kind of guys. At the same time, there was a lot of rounds left that didn't get fought, and it was only the pressure was only going to get more. You could see Canelo was just sort of warming up to the fight, just getting going. But look, I think a lot of people would have been surprised at how much trouble that Billy Joe caused him before it ended, and I think he'll have a rest, and then hopefully his eye's okay and he can come again. Just a shame he couldn't have lasted a little bit longer, because that was interesting. Like I say, I'm biased towards Billy Joe. I wanted to see him winning, but I did feel he'd got his nose in front. He was a lot of close rounds. And the thing is, Billy Joe his work rate was higher, but from round 2 onwards, it was clear that the heavier shots, the more powerful, more telling, more damaging punches were coming from Canelo. And in a 12-round fight, eventually that catches up with you. So there we go. Thank you for watching the blog, guys. I'll catch up again with you very soon with more big boxing predictions. If you like the blog, please subscribe. Hellraiser Boxing on YouTube. Okay, see you then, guys. Thanks very much. Catch you again soon.